Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Entertainment Plaza in Review with your host, future Hall of Famer Moses Plaza, Master Chief Andy De Jesus, Scott Marshall the author, Gylan Brown, the one they call Smoothie, Angel Rivera, and from youtube.com/psychosics, Brian Plaza. This is the Entertainment Plaza in Review. Welcome back, everybody, to the Entertainment Plaza Reviews. Today, we are reviewing the movie What Happened to Monday on a Thursday. Yes, that's correct. It's not What Happened to Thursday on a Monday, but What Happened to Monday on a Thursday. We got myself, one of your hosts, Moses De La Hoya, Jusino Pedro Santo Gonzalez Santiago Plaza El Segundo. We got my boy, Gylan Scott Marshall, the author. What's going on, bro?
What's going on? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm great. I can't complain. And then we got Master Chief Andy De Jesus, probably doing a raid right now on Destiny 2. What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. Ready to review.
We're going to have to call you Mr. Double Hands, Mr. Mr. Do It All right now. All right, man. But look, I appreciate everybody tuning in on twitch.tv/the Entertainment Plaza. Like I always say, if you can't catch this live on Twitch, follow us on YouTube. You're going to catch it about an hour after the stream on YouTube, on youtube.com/the Entertainment Plaza. You can catch us on all podcast services around the world. That's Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all the social medias, Facebook, MySpace, Mi Gente, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're there for you anywhere you want to go. So my brother, Brian, he's in the chat. He says, it feels weird being on this end. So, but I appreciate him tuning in. He tried to watch the movie last night so he could join us on the review, and unfortunately, he fell asleep.
He wasn't old enough.
Yeah, it was rated.
The rating was a little bit too adult for him.
But yeah, man. So, let's start with this review. We're gonna start. Who wants to go first on how you felt about the movie? What Happened to Monday on a Thursday? Go ahead.
I caught this when it first came out and was a fan instantly, and especially for being just like a Netflix movie. Like Netflix was dropping some bombs, like some good movies.
Right.
This is one of their better ones, and actually probably one of my favorite ones besides Extraction. Was one of my other favorite ones. But this movie was
a
really
good one too.
The storytelling in this and the way they did everything is dope, and I like the girl as an actress. She does a lot of Netflix. I guess standalone movies because she's been in a few, like Bright. The Bright with Will Smith.
Yeah, Bright. Yeah, her name is Numi. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Her first name is Numi Rapace. But she did a heck of a job in my opinion. But go ahead, keep going with your thoughts.
No, it's just a solid movie, man. Really good, especially just for going straight to Netflix. You just can't beat it.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Gylan? How you feel about it?
Without going into too much as it unfolds, we'll get into more. But I was a fan. I was a fan from the jump. When I finished the movie the very first time when it first came out, I was excited about it. I told a few people about it, watching it. I think I might have watched it 2 or 3 times when it first came out. So rewatching it now for this review, it brought back, oh man, I remember how much I really enjoyed this movie. And like you said, Netflix bringing that heat and I think this might have been around the time when Netflix really started dropping really good movies, trying to make a name for themselves. Like a Netflix movie was a a new thing, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I think this came out in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, and this was like probably one of their first like AAA movies that they released and put a lot of money behind it. And I mean, on Wikipedia it says their budget was 20 million. 20 million isn't much in today's standard as far as like AAA movie, but what they did with $20 million, I mean, it was pretty amazing. I agree with both of you. This movie, I saw it day one when it came out, and it was just something, scrolling by, something Netflix suggested. I was like, yeah, let me watch it. And like Gylan with last week's movie, I probably watched this, 5 or 6 times now. The premise of the movie is just absolutely amazing. It does star Numi Rapace, I think that's how it's pronounced. Her grandfather in the movie is actually Willem Dafoe, which, I mean, superb actor, amazing actor. If you don't know who he is, he's Green Goblin and Spider Man.
True,
And then
true.
also has Glenn Close as I forget her name in the movie, but yeah, it's she's kind of like the main antagonist in the movie. Besides, you know, the little twist in the end with one of the
Hmm.
characters. But with that being said, Guinan, I'm gonna go to you. What were some of the things that you liked about the movie, and a few things, or one or two things that you may have maybe disliked about the movie?
Uh, so much about this movie. Rewatching it, I feel like the writers were so clever with everything that they put together in this movie, and that's what something that got with me. And I was like, oh, because I like a movie. You know, as you know from my pick last week, I like when the movie's clever and it's different. And to me, watching it, watching all the characters who were the exact same person,
Right.
I felt like the it looked like they were different people. Like you know what I'm saying? It looked like it was different actresses in this movie. I didn't feel like, oh man, that looks too fake. Like all that
Yeah.
person on top of person, you can tell that's not a real person or everything. A lot of that stuff, I was like, man, this really looks good for all being the exact same person. And watching the movie and seeing different parts, I'll give away the one part with the little girl when she loses her finger, and we can go
Yeah.
into like the
Yeah.
story and everything. But later on, when she does the situation with the gun and she cuts the boy's finger off, but it places
Yeah.
like that much part of the finger that she was missing. Like to me, like the writing of that, like you put that in the story and then brought a part of that back
Yeah. It came full
to put in
circle.
there. Yeah, to me, I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, that was one big part that I was like that type of writing was something that I really enjoyed. As for something that I dislike about it, I don't know. I really like the movie. I have to come back if something pops up as we go
Yeah.
along with it that I remember disliking. But at the moment, I enjoyed everything about it.
How about you, Andy?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's just the moment I watched it, I was like, man, this is a movie that I think anyone can watch and get into. You know, like you don't have to be a certain type of fan for any kind of movie. That you just watch it and it's not hard to keep up with. It's not something that you got
Hmm.
to really think about. It's just a movie you can enjoy, but it's just put together very well. And like you know, trying to think about something I didn't like about the movie, I don't really have anything because the action
Yeah.
was good when
Hmm.
there was action in it. The storytelling was well. Like it was just a good movie just to watch, and just something to just throw on and just have a good time with.
Yeah, no doubt. So for me personally, I love the movie. Now, like Gylan said, so there's Numi Rapace who played. She literally played seven different characters. And for anybody watching the podcast right now, we're going to go into full spoilers. This movie is already 5 years old. So if you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. So go check it out. But it's Numi Rapace plays seven different characters. I'm going to start from the beginning, right? So um, in this world, which is like 2043, if I'm not mistaken, or something along those lines, the population of the Earth is like rampant. It's ridiculous how many people are on the Earth. There's not enough food to feed everybody. So they come up with a way to genetically modify food so they can grow quicker and more abundant. Unfortunately, when people are consuming this food, that's also genetically modifying them. So now instead of just having one kid at a time, they're having five, six, seven, eight kids at a time, which is now the solution is essentially contributing to the problem, right?
Right.
So I believe it was somewhere in Europe. I'm not sure where this took place. I know it was filmed entirely in Romania, but I don't know if the actual setting of the movie was Romania because there was like literally 13 different accents in the entire movie, so I couldn't
Hmm.
really tell. But the uh, the mom in the movie essentially she's having seven kids in an underground hospital because if you have it above ground, the new law states that you can only have one child, and that's your oldest. Your other kids, in this case, the six others, were going to be cryogenically frozen, and they would have been brought back in the future when the Earth was in a better place, so to speak. So
Right.
she didn't want that to happen. She has the kids underground, and she unfortunately passes away in the process because they're in an underground hospital. They didn't have the resources to keep her alive and her kids alive. So the grandfather at this point says, "I'm going to keep the kids." The grandfather's Willem Dafoe, and excuse me, and the doctor says, "Where's the father?" He's like, "I don't know." And he's like, "I'm gonna take care of them." And he's like, "Well, what are you gonna name them?" And he's like, "Well, there's seven of them. So I'm gonna name them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday." So um, so then basically I gotta say what's up to my cousins and Preston. They just joined the chat. My cousin Lulu and my cousin Tito. But anyways, so he takes them home and he's raising them essentially out of sight of society, right? Because if they find out that they exist, then that's bad news for them. He teaches them essentially how to live as one person, right? So they get to the point
Right.
where they're like, I believe to like 7 years or 8 years of age when he says, "All
Mm,
right, so everybody is going to be named in here. You are who you are. You can be who you want to be, express yourself how you want
correct.
to express yourself. But in the outside world, you're Karen Stedman, something like
Setman.
Stedman.
Setman.
Yeah. So he teaches them all this. Now to the point where Guylan got to with the finger. You want to explain that part?
So in the show, as they said, you could only when they got into this character, they were only allowed to go out on their day of their name. So Monday goes out on Monday, Tuesday goes out on Tuesday. Therefore, they're on. So if it wasn't your day, you weren't allowed to go outside. So at one point, I believe I don't know if the kid, it might have been
I think it
Monday
was
or Tuesday.
no, I think it
Was it?
was
It was
Thursday. I think it was
Thursday.
Thursday.
No,
Thursday.
Thursday
Thursday.
is the one that snuck out though. No, I'm
Yeah,
talking
that's
Right.
about the other one. No. I'm talking about whose day it was to go out. I'm
oh
not too sure
yeah,
whose day it was. So anyway, it was one of the kids' day to go out and they go out with their grandfather or whatever. But at the same time, Thursday, who was I guess a little bit rebellious, snuck out a window when nobody else was looking
right.
with a skateboard. So the grandfather comes back, finds out, hey, one of them's missing, asking all the kids, what's up? Where's Thursday? Nobody sees him and everything. So next thing you know, they hear pounding on the door. So they have a protocol for when they hear pounding on the door. Since there's only one kid allowed, I mean, one kid allowed in the household, they have a protocol where they have everything set up so that they could hide and make it seem like only one kid lived there. Long story short, it turns out that it's Thursday pounding on the door and was skateboarding and pretty much cut most of her finger off while she was
Yeah,
skateboarding. Problem with this is since they all have to be the exact same kid, they have to have the exact same injury. So from then on, the grandfather had to take that same finger from the rest of the kids and chop it off to make it seem like they all have the exact same scar, which to me was it was kind of wild. Like when that
yeah,
part
that was
happened, I was
wild.
just like, you don't think about those little things that have to happen because you can't have one like Thursday you have a finger and then the rest of the week your finger is back like so that part and thinking the sacrifices that they had to go through as a kid um is big and also that part I didn't realize I watched the movie again plays a bigger part in the end with flashbacks and kind of when you like see how everything is put back together
Yeah,
so that part was I thought was pretty cool and hard to watch. Actually, watch cut the little kid's fingers off and
yeah,
everything, even though
yeah. That one was crazy. Again, like you said, man, he had to make that tough decision because, I mean, the your other choice is, they're gonna find out that you're
yeah,
one
right.
of seven essentially. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so he unfortunately had to do that. But at that point, it kind of fast forwards to 2073, as it says here on the plot, and they're all older. I believe they're 30 years old now. And they're all sitting around the table, and one of the things that the grandfather said, and he's long past at this point. He said, at the end of your day, which again, you can only go out on the day of your name. The final thing you do at night is, and it seems like it always happened during dinner, was you got to tell everybody how your day went, every detail. You got
Mm-hmm.
to share every scar. You got to do everything under the sun so that the next person up knows what happened, right? So
Right.
we then go into, oh, by the way, I remember one person that I don't like in this movie, and when we get to it, I'll bring them up. But um so we get to the part where Monday has to give a presentation at work.
Presentation.
Yeah, she has to
Yes.
give a presentation, and she's nervous about giving the presentation. And she goes out, she
Because
gets
they're up
prepared, and it's pretty dope. They have like this, again, we're in 2073, so they have like this mirror that
technology. Right.
right, that has some software that will tell you, okay, you have a blemish here, you got a mark here, you have you're suffering from drugs or some shit like that. I forget exactly
Yeah.
what it said,
Yeah. Right. Hmm.
but so they put on the makeup, the wig, so and all that stuff. But she goes out and she runs into the what's his name, Adrian, who is, and you'll find,
Bureau, like,
yeah,
yeah.
he works for CAB, which is the Child Allocation Bureau, which is actually pretty cool. But so she runs into Adrian, and he's talking to her kind of weird, and she's just like, what is, well, actually, she knows him. Monday knows who Jerry
Hmm.
is at this point.
Hmm.
We'll find out
See,
later.
that's what happened. So Monday went. I don't know. We're gonna spoil it.
Yeah,
Monday
yeah,
went
yeah,
missing. So
absolutely.
when
Monday
they
went
run
missing.
into,
It was
yeah, when they run
Tuesday.
into her, Tuesday went out, and
Yeah.
that's who ran into him.
Yeah.
And then
That's
that's
right.
why it was a
Hmm.
weird encounter. But even from like the beginning, when they first fast forward to getting older, like they could tell the mess ups because the one guy tells her like a line from a poem, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. That.
like
Yeah.
doesn't know it, and he's like confused, and then she just walks up. But it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Right.
little things like that when
The
they don't
doorman.
explain to each other, right? When they don't explain to each
Yeah.
other what's going on, you can see the little mess ups throughout the movie. But yeah, go keep going.
So,
yeah,
so that was kind of the setup for this whole movie. Is they were up for a promotion, and on Monday goes in, and then at the end of the day, Monday never returns. And it was the
Right.
first time ever that Monday hasn't been at on time for an end of day meeting, which Mo explained. They have to have the meeting to make
yeah,
sure everything that happened. Long story short, they're searching for him, and Monday never shows up. So they had to try to figure out. They couldn't find him find her on a computer. Didn't know anything about it. So they had to send the next person out, which was Tuesday, to pretty much kind of investigate and find out what actually happened to Monday. They didn't know if the guess I don't know, the cops or whatever you want to say, the what's it called, the children, whatever the situation is, the ones that snatched up kids and everything,
yeah.
the government, pretty much they didn't know if the government snatched up Monday or not, so they had to send out Tuesday, which threw everything off because Tuesday's now investigating what's going on Monday, but they didn't get to have that meeting, so
Right.
Tuesday's now walking into the world blind, not knowing who Monday may have talked to, what happened, or what situations happened, which kind of sets the movie off to take off at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And before we continue, I want to welcome King Jebs to the chat, man. What's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. But moving back to the plot, like you said, so I did forget about that. It was Tuesday who went out, and now we got to remember there's two of them out in the wild
Yes,
now,
right.
essentially, right? And
And
there
the
can
last
only
time
be
that
one.
happened was when the kid hurt. Yeah.
Right, exactly. That was the last time 30 years prior or 23 years
Hmm.
prior, something along those lines. Um, so Tuesday's out, and that's why she's kind of confused as to why Adrian is talking to her, like if he, you know, knows a little something more or is kind of like flirting with her a little bit, whatever it may be. She then goes into the bank, and Jerry, who was in competition with, he's a coworker of hers. He was in competition for the promotion. He starts talking to her like, I know your secret, and yada yada and things like that. That's making us believe like he knows that there's more than one of her, but we'll find out later that it's a different secret that he knows, right?
Right.
So, um, again, Monday fails to return home. That's why Tuesday goes out and retraces her steps. She learns that Monday actually got the promotion and met Jerry at a bar. So, she was talking to, I believe, her receptionist, and the receptionist says, "Oh yeah, you went to your favorite bar." And she's like, "What bar would that be again?" You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
again,
Hey,
for
hey.
some reason, she doesn't know this information that she should know. You know.
Right.
Um, so apparently she went there. The bartender tells her, "Yeah, you were kind of arguing with your coworker." And she's
Hmm.
like, "Which one was that?" And she's like, "I believe it was Jerry, the dickhead, I believe she says, or something like that, the asshole."
Right.
So at this point, she's still trying to investigate, and she gets caught
Hmm.
by the Children Allocation Bureau agent. I
Right.
can't stand that guy. That is the one part of
Yeah.
this movie.
Yes.
And you know what? I
Okay.
so I didn't mind that character until about 2/3 in. He pulls up to the one building. He goes like this,
Yeah.
like he's like
Yeah.
a Superman or
Yeah.
something. And they put on this
Yeah.
vest. I'm just like, who are
Hmm.
you, bro? Like you're
Yeah.
whack.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Listen.
I'm here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
nah,
Right.
kid,
Right.
you ain't
Hmm.
that person. So that's the one thing I didn't like. That's the one scene I would say I
And
didn't like about the movie.
there's other scenes with him and like the bombing part where he's just like snatches the bomb part out of here. Like the boy couldn't set the bomb off
Right.
at the door and everything. And his partner, I hated his partner because the way she ran. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
happening? Like you
Yeah.
guys are corny. You are like corny, but whatever. Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, so she gets taken in, and I believe Adrian sees her at some point, like
Yeah,
being drugged
being
into the
taken in.
building or whatever.
Hmm.
The CAB agents cut off her communication, so now we have each sister has the little bracelet that essentially they can be GPS tracked. So now there's two
Right.
bracelets that are not being tracked anymore. So they cut off her communications. They go into the facility. Adrian sees Tuesday escorted to a cell where she meets Nicola Kamen. That's actually the
Yeah,
main
right.
antagonist, head of the bureau, and she's also a candidate for parliament. Kamen says she knows about Tuesday's siblings, and when Tuesday offers a bribe, Kamen reveals that Monday had offered her the same deal, and again saying, "I know that there's more than one of you."
Hmm.
And Kamen orders the CAB agents to assassinate Tuesday's sisters. So, and this part was freaking nuts.
Hmm.
I actually forgot what they did to Tuesday in this section. I thought they were going to kill
Yeah,
her.
because you don't know about that until the later
Yes.
on scenes.
Yeah. So there's a later on scene. So, let me see. Where am I with the plot
But
here?
before then, does Saturday leave take on that part to go to Jerry's apartment to find out what's the
No,
deal?
no, no.
No, that's
So
after
they,
the.
they
Go ahead.
after they capture wasn't it Tuesday, they
Tuesday,
take
yeah.
them to a room, and then obviously they find out or they know, so they
Oh,
send a
they
squad.
they send the squad. Yeah, yeah,
And then they
yeah,
cut her eye out to use it
yeah.
to get into the
Yeah.
Right.
into the apartment, which is nuts. You know what I mean? Like it's like, dang. So the violence in the movie is pretty good too. It's like,
It was that part was really good too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that part.
Yeah. So they. So instead of killing Tuesday, they actually take her eye out so they can use it on the retinal scanner at their apartment complex, essentially. So they can see the guys coming in, right? And they're like, they do their little thing where they go to hide and whatever it may
Hmm.
be. Um, they enter the apartment. The sisters get in a fight with the agents.
Hmm.
The agents open the little hideaway, and the sisters come out. They're like, all right, where's the I guess it's the
Last
fifth one
the
now.
last one.
Yeah, the last one. They get
Hmm.
in a crazy fight, and they essentially end up killing the agents.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, one of the sisters is killed, which was Sunday. She was shot, and
Sunday, yeah.
now she's killed. So now we got Monday still missing.
Monday. Hmm.
Tuesday is not dead.
And
We'll find.
well, we
We
don't.
don't
Yeah,
know
at
that
that
yet,
point.
right? We don't know
Yeah.
that yet, but at some point we know they see, and they get to hack the CAB tower, and we'll get to how they do that. But so
Monday's going, Tuesday's going, Sunday's going now.
yeah, Sunday's essentially dead. Monday they don't know if she's dead, and Tuesday they are assuming she's dead. I guess right because the eyeballs
Right.
there. They actually scan the
Hmm.
eyeball themselves on their computer and be like, oh damn, that's
Find out
Tuesday.
which one
Yeah.
to. Right.
So so the next day, that's when Wednesday leaves. Without this,
Saturday.
what's that?
That's what Saturday goes to the apartment now.
Oh, it's saying here it was Wednesday. So
Oh,
that was
okay.
one.
So that was
yeah,
also.
yeah. So the next day, Wednesday leaves without a disguise because she's like, "The hell with this! I am going to go."
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I'm going out as me. So, and she confronts Jerry. Um, he reveals that Karen got the promotion when she sent millions of euros. So I guess it was in Europe
Europe,
to
yeah.
to
Hmm.
Cayman to fund her campaign. At this point, they're talking, and she's trying to get more information out of him, and he goes to drink. I think it's milk or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they snipe him. They snipe him right in the freaking face, bro. I was like,
Right.
yo, that's crazy. Even at this point, like I knew he was gonna get sniped because I seen the movie a few years ago. It's been a while, but I
Hmm.
forgot how that went down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
The same reaction. I was like, oh man, that was a good shot.
yes. So they kill Wednesday. I mean, they kill Jerry, and then Wednesday's, she's trapped in this apartment. There's still a sniper out there. He's shooting at her. She's dodging bullets left and right. Gets the tablet, is able to close the windows with the tablet or the shades. Um, the she's at this point, I believe, talking to her sisters at the apartment. They're trying to guide her
Yeah.
out of this building, right? So
Communications. Right.
yeah, so the others remotely guide Wednesday to safety, but are interrupted when Adrian shows up at the sister's apartment, concerned about Karen. So again, this is kind of coming full circle now. Um, and basically they already figure out, all right, he's in a relationship with one of them, and they're all blaming. I believe it was Saturday. They're like, oh, are you sure you're not
Yeah.
bringing guys and you're not telling us? But at some point Thursday convinces Saturday to leave with him to try and get information, and then the smart one, I forget what's the smart one. Was that Friday?
Friday.
Yeah. Friday says, here, take this chip, get it close to his bracelet, and we can download, like, we can essentially hack the CAB building, right? So,
because before you go, like when everyone had their own personalities, they kind of all had their own little thing. Like Friday was the super smart one.
Yeah.
It looked like Sunday was like the homey one. Then you had Thursday, who was more of a, I want to say, jock. And then Saturday was like the more promiscuous one. She had like blonde hair when everyone else had different hair. She was the one that was, I guess you would say, more promiscuous, that they believed that was, messing around with mad guys and everything was about that. Like, and then Monday was more straightforward.
The oldest one.
Yeah, she was the oldest. Yeah,
the firstborn,
Yeah,
the
the
more
firstborn.
responsible for everything, I
Yeah.
guess you want to say.
yeah, right. And I guess Thursday was the more responsible one, because she was the one that with the figure in the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but we do find out that Saturday is actually not the promiscuous one. She's not the quote unquote the one sleeping around. She's actually a virgin.
Right.
She's like, I've never been with anybody, and they just found this out. So,
Just like me.
Yo, I'm about to end this podcast right now, bro. Don't be lying to people, bro. Don't be. We don't.
You just got blonde hair.
Yeah, for real. It's the same way when you go downstairs. But yeah, so Saturday ends up leaving with Adrian. She goes to his apartment, and then she covertly links their bracelets while sleeping with him. So they get down. They start knocking boots. They're hopping on the good thing. I mean, hopping on the good foot, doing the bad thing. You know what I mean?
Jeez, that's why Brian wasn't allowed to watch.
Yeah, exactly. That's the part he had to turn
nudity.
it off.
Mom's in the bed.
Yeah. So yeah.
Send me the password.
Yeah. So she does link the bracelet, and Friday's able to hack into the CAB on a video feed, and sisters believe they found Monday in a holding cell. So, but through the feed, they can't tell whether it's Monday or if it's Tuesday or whoever it may be, right? So we know. Well, maybe we don't know. We don't know at this point.
We don't.
Yeah. If
no,
you're
we
watching
don't
it for
know.
the first time, you don't know who's actually, on the other side of that video, right? So, meanwhile, the CAB agents corner, and unfortunately, they kill Wednesday. So Wednesday's trying to run away from the CAB agents. She's about to perform like a Matrix jump or a Ethan Hunt drop.
Listen.
Jump off from one building to another.
This part got me. The very first time I watched this, that part got me. Like, so, like, as Moses saying, she's running from the agents the whole time, and she makes it to the roof. And Friday's on her communications directing her which way to go. She makes it to the roof, and the only way is to go back down where the agents are following her, or make this long jump from one building to the other building. And she's like, "Listen, you gotta make this jump." So Shorty backs up in the rain at that, backs up, takes off running, and takes that jump, and she's floating. I'm like, oh, we got this.
We gotta rewind a little bit, because before all this happened is when the coolest part of the movie happened, when she got stuck in the bathroom.
Yeah,
the agents were in there.
Oh, I forgot about that. Right.
All the guns are fingerprint, I guess, or like, you gotta have your fingerprint for it to activate.
Access. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So obviously she can't use the gun while she's cornered in there. So she cuts enough of the guy's finger off to put it in front of her finger that's been cut off, to use it as as her own finger, and that was the.
But she gets actual, again, her finger from like the line here up is gone, right? So she cuts his
from
finger
the accident from when they were kids.
Yeah, from the accident from when they were kids. So she cuts his finger off, and she puts a pin in his finger, and then the other half of that pin on her finger. So now her trigger finger is whole again.
Actually his. Yeah, right.
And, they opened that door, and the gun recognizes the fingerprint, and blocka, it was done. They were gone. She
great
gets
scene.
them on. Yeah. It was actually a real great scene. So, going back to the rooftop scene, Guyland, what were you saying about that?
So being at this rooftop, I mean, I feel like that whole segment was really good because, like we were saying, Friday was directing her which way to go, and from while she's running from the agents because she's has the map open, she's telling her which way to go and which way not to go and everything. During this time, that's when the other boy, what's his name? What was the boy's name? I almost called him Jerry, but it's not Jerry. The boyfriend or whatnot.
Adrian.
The other agent, Adrian. So Adrian comes through. They have to hop off the comms because they're pretending like they're not there. So she's sitting there and she's just waiting for them to come back. They hop back on after Adrian leaves. They go up to the roof. You get to the point where she's like, Friday's like, hey, you got to make this jump. She takes off running to make that jump, and I'm like, all right, cool. We're gonna be good. We're gonna get back together, and that's not what happens
Right.
at that point.
Right.
I feel like when I first watched it, that was the part that surprised me the most in this whole entire movie. And then I was like, oh, this is a good movie.
Yeah.
Because she jumps to make this jump and she's floating and you think she's going to make the jump. And then the agent, who we don't like, pops open on the other side of the roof with a gun and shoots her midpoint in the air.
Mid-flight in the air.
In the air. I was sitting there like,
Yeah.
yo, to
Yeah.
me, that made a great movie because I was like, definitely thought she was gonna make this jump. She
Yeah.
doesn't.
This definitely
She
felt
can make
like.
the jump.
Oh, go ahead. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, you're right. You're right. She does make the jump, and she does make the jump, and she's hanging on the wall, and he walks up to her, takes the gun,
And
shoots her in her face.
yeah, and mind you, she has a camera on her where her other sisters who are monitoring her
Right.
can see everything, and then he shoots her in the face. She's falling down like 30 stories, and they're seeing all of this. So there goes another sister dead. That I believe that was Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So Wednesday, unfortunately, let me see here. Where are my siblings? Yeah, they. Okay, so they kill Wednesday after Adrian leaves his apartment. CAB agents arrive and kill Saturday. Oh
Saturday.
yeah, Saturday because
Oh,
she
they shot
is.
Saturday in the face too. Everyone gets shot in the face. This
Yeah,
is
back of the head. Well,
crazy.
back of the head for her. She was
Oh,
talking
because
to
she spun
them.
around, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was talking to them, through a webcam or whatever it may be, and she's about to say,
Uh-huh.
"I love you," and another one,
Oh,
Blanca.
yeah.
So at least she ain't die a virgin. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Ain't true. Sorry, Brian.
yeah.
I might.
So yeah, okay. So again,
Now they're
um,
dropping like flies.
welcome Deli to the Twitch chat. I appreciate you tuning in. But so again, Saturday is
Shot in
she
the
gets
face.
killed. Yeah, shot in the face. So now at this point, simultaneously as this is happening, the sister's apartment is raided by CAB squad led by Joe. I guess that's the main dude that we don't
Mm-hmm.
like, right? The head of security, essentially, admitting that she cannot survive on her own. So it's just now,
Thursday and Friday.
no, yeah, Thursday and Friday. Yes,
Yeah.
Thursday and
Thursday
Friday.
and Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday.
Friday's the techie.
Yeah, yep. So it's just Thursday and Friday, and they're about to escape. Thursday goes down the fire escape, and Friday pulls it back up. She's the techie girl, right?
Right.
She goes back in. Thursday calls her, is like, "What the hell are you doing? You got to come out here." She starts putting like all kind of aerosol cans in the microwave. She's letting the gas go. Rips the gas off the stove, and she starts transferring all kind of stuff to Thursday's bracelet so she can have all the memories. And at this point, then Thursday or Friday says, "I'm sorry, yeah, Friday says I can't. The only way I can live is with you guys, and
Yeah.
half of us don't
She
exist no
can't make
more."
it out in the real world.
Right, she can't make it out in the real world. So once this is the part where Joe, the security guy, grabs the little clicker and he hits the
Hey.
clicker and everything blows up. How he came out of that with barely a scratch, I don't know. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
But
Bad guy.
yeah, exactly. So so Friday sacrifices herself by blowing up the apartment to allow Thursday to escape and try and go rescue Monday. So Adrian hears about the incident on the radio and rushes back to the Setman apartment. Thursday confronts him in his car, so he goes out. He's like, "Oh no, my girl's dead," and he goes back into his car. And Thursday's in there about to like slice his throat because she's blaming him for her sister's death. Adrian now realizes Karen is an assumed identity for several siblings and claims to love Monday, whom he agrees to help rescue. So Adrian sneaks Tuesday in a concealed body bag into the CAB headquarters.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Yes, sorry. She's in this like chamber now. So at the beginning of the movie, they're telling us that, you know, your firstborn is cool. Your firstborn can stay with you. Every other one's going to be cryogenically frozen so we can bring them back when the world is a better place to bring back that many children, right? One of the twists is that that's not what they're doing. So
Right.
Thursday's in this body bag and she's witnessing everything. She sees a little kid, a little girl. She's like, "Is it gonna hurt?" The little girl says, "Is it gonna hurt?" They say no. So they inject her with something and essentially put her in like a comatose state, right?
The
Uh,
freezer.
yeah, and then they put her. Well, they inject her to like put her to sleep.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
and then they put her in
yeah,
a
and
thing to
then they
freeze
put
her.
her
Yeah.
in the freezer, so to speak. But we come to find out, and now so Karen or Thursday's recording all this on her bracelet, and we come to find out that they're not freezing them; they're actually burning them alive, essentially. And we
Right.
see the little girl get charred, and she turns into like literally dust.
Dust particles.
And
Yes.
now we see the truth. They're not cryogenically frozen; they're just killing them off by who knows the millions at this point, right?
Mm,
Because this has been
right.
going
Right.
on for at least 30 years,
Almost 30, right?
yeah. So
Right.
um so let's see here, where am I? So yeah, they're in the headquarters. She secretly records a child undergoing cryo sleep. Instead of being frozen, the child is incinerated.
Hmm.
Adrian and Adrian and Thursday discover Tuesday missing an eye inside the cell. So they fight their way out of this situation. They open the bag
Hmm.
and the lady said, "Wait, I thought she was in a fire." And she kicks her. The lady falls into this chamber. She turns on the chamber
Yeah.
and she chars the shit out of this lady. So
Right.
that was a pretty dope death. And Adrian fights off everybody. So they go and they find the cell where they thought Monday was at, and it was actually
Hmm.
Tuesday. So they see that her
Right.
eye is missing and whatever it may be. Um, so they discover Tuesday missing an eye inside the cell. They search for Monday, only to discover at some point that, and here's the twist: Monday sold out all her sisters to Cayman,
Hmm.
who's the again main antagonist of this whole thing. So we come to find out that Monday wants to be the only person. She wants to live freely. She wants to be the only Karen
Karen
Setman,
Seven.
right? So
Yeah.
she sold out all six of her sisters, and again, being the first one born, she felt like that was her right. So we kind of fast forward a little bit to Cayman's campaign fundraiser. Remember, she's trying to be a part of Parliament at this point. Thursday and Monday confront each other in the women's restroom. They look identical. They have the same clothes on. They have, you know, everything. They look like each other. And
Hmm.
then Monday starts explaining to her, "Oh, why I did this," and you know, essentially they're going back and forth for a while, and then they start fighting. Obviously,
Hmm.
um, at this point, Thursday accidentally. Well, we don't know this. At this point, we don't know this. One
Hmm.
of the twins or the septuplets shoots the other during the fight because Monday did bring out a gun. We do come to find that it was Thursday who accidentally shot Monday.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Tuesday and Adrian are in like this room with all the servers,
Server room.
and yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Adrian kills two guys. He kills that girl that we don't like either.
Yeah.
What's
The
her name?
black girl.
Yeah,
That was a great kill, though.
yeah.
So let me stop right there.
Go
So
ahead.
I really enjoyed this kill in the whole entire movie because he's fighting one of the agents, this black girl, and he already fought all the rest of them and everything. So he's fighting the girl, and she has a gun. He like breaks her arm backwards behind her and shoots her with her own gun from the
Yeah, he
back of her
does.
head.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a clever. That was I enjoyed that. And even like even prior to that, just to mention what Mo just talked about, when the two sisters were fighting in the bathroom. I thought it was really good writing because in this situation, it came down to the two sisters. Monday, who was like the oldest responsible one,
Mm-hmm.
who was the first daughter or first girl to have to get her finger cut off because Thursday, which was the one that was fighting with her in the bathroom, was the one that was irresponsible one outside when she wasn't supposed to mess
Right.
up her finger and had everybody what's the name. So when it came full circle, it felt like those two beefed the most out of all the sisters, and now it's down to just those two, the responsible one and the irresponsible one, and as they're older now, it's just like, all right, who's gonna win this situation? So I
So
thought that was really good writing, bringing like the beginning of the movie into the end and
Yeah,
intermixed it
definitely.
between it all.
that's the only part I'm a nitpick with is the bathroom scene because she goes into get the wig from Tuesday when she's in the room. And out of
Mm-hmm.
nowhere, her makeup is done, and then she has that clothes. Where'd she get the clothes from?
That's
And
true.
how's her?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
I
You know what
never
I'm
even
saying?
thought
Like,
about that.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, where'd she get the clothes from? And why does her face look so good now? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so
That's
it's
true. And
like,
that's supposed to be literally like a few minutes after the
uh,
fact. So we think, you know.
Yo, that's
Yeah,
amazing because I never thought about it because she was like, just give me the wig, and that's all she had. It was in
yeah.
there. Yeah,
wait,
good
right?
point.
I
And
mean,
then
I
it's like,
think
Unless,
bam.
the only thing
yeah,
I could think
yeah.
of is, I mean, I know,
Oh no
women
no no no!
they
Take it back! Take it back! No. So she took what's her name's clothes. So she switched out what's her name clothes because when you remember Tuesday had a hoodie on. She had Thursday's clothes. Afterwards, when she was in the server room, she was dressed in all Thursday's clothes. So she just switched out clothes. Now for lipstick, it might have been like a
yeah.
purse thing, but everything else, she was literally wearing what Tuesday had on at that point
Okay.
in time because they switched out and what's her name is wearing Thursday's clothes at that
Yeah.
point. But yeah,
But and I get that they all wear the same thing, but what are the chances that they're wearing the same thing that day too? But
yeah,
again, it's
right.
a movie. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we can nitpick it, but
Mhm.
in the grand scheme of things, you know, it is what it is.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we kind of had to we overlook it. But
You would know who got shot at that point, so you had to
yeah,
have
yeah,
that little point of like, oh no, who got shot? They look the same. So
yeah.
yeah,
So, but then we do find out Monday got shot. Tuesday and Adrian, they end up being able to broadcast the footage that they took of the little girl being incinerated, leaving everyone at the event shocked. And the now traumatized crowd directs its attention to Cayman, who angrily confronts Thursday before her bodyguards pull her off. So she's here like trying to choke Thursday, and Thursday's like, "Yeah, you're not doing anything to me."
right.
Monday comes out of the restroom. She got shot. She wasn't dead. So she has the gun.
Mhm.
And Joe shoots Monday, again, the guy we don't like, thinking that she intends to kill
Was
Cayman.
Thursday. Yeah,
But
right.
on the other hand, Adrian comes out and kills Joe. So
Hmm.
that's kind of where that ends. We have Cayman essentially there. She's doing like a press conference, and she kind of blaming everybody but herself. She's like, I hate to see everybody when this world crumbles, and they're not going to be able to get to see what we were planning for and all this other stuff. And she's like, first of all, why is she free and able to do
Yeah, ain't. Yeah,
able to
right.
do a news conference? And secondly,
Mhm.
okay, she should be in jail and she's going to face a death penalty, but yet she can have this still, this
Mhm.
news conference outside like nothing. So, um, a little bit prior to that, though, Monday reveals to Thursday that she is pregnant and asks her to not let the CAB take her unborn twins. So Thursday realizes Monday sacrificed her sisters in much the same way their grandfather cut off their fingers. So, in order to protect her children. Monday dies from her wounds. The Child Allocation Act is abolished, and Cayman faces the death penalty for her actions, which again, like I said, she continues to insist were necessary. At this point, Thursday, Adrian, and Tuesday now has a new artificial eye, which is kind of dope. 2073, we got something to look forward to. Um, um, she watches Mondays and Adrian's twins develop in an artificial womb, which they look weird as crap. That looks so
Right.
Right.
weird.
I mean,
Yeah,
That
she
that
does.
was like the worst part of the whole movie. Like
yeah,
you did all this good stuff where everybody looked the same, and then you had these little floating fake babies.
yeah,
Like, come on! Like you did almost the whole movie good, and then it's like, wah wah.
yeah.
They ran out of money. They ran out
You
of
right?
budget.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh man. So
Throw some
That's
jelly beans in a jar.
that's what kind of bugged me. Is like, so she, obviously now she was pregnant that when she got shot.
Mhm.
Monday was, but
yeah,
she got shot. I don't know where he shot. Where he kind of shot her in the
Yeah,
leg.
right,
Like, I
right, right.
must have missed all of it. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Who
Yeah, missed
knows?
all those kids in there. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? It's
But
2073, man. You know what I mean? Like that's being shot
And
in
she was shot
2073.
twice.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's true.
She was shot twice, one for each of those
Yeah,
kids, and they're like,
being
they
Maybe it
shot.
was like,
really?
Yeah. Oh man, being shot in 2073 is like having a splinter now. So
True.
that's
but
true.
That's
That's true.
true. That's true.
The
um,
bullet penetrates just enough.
yeah. So so at this point, Adrian asks Tuesday, like, "What are you gonna do?" And she's like, "Well, she's like, I'm not Tuesday anymore. My name now is Terry." And
Mhm.
Thursday says, I'm still Karen. I'm Karen's sentiment. So she's the real Karen sentiment now. So and then as the camera pulls back, we see hundreds of babies are seen and her crying in an enormous room, with nursing
Mm-hmm.
staff and stuff to care for them. So, and that's where the movie ends.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, and I'm gonna start here with kind of like my end thoughts of it. The movie was amazing for me. That's a 10 out of 10 movie. Even though kind of like Joe, I didn't really like. My man Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Hey.
the end, those babies at the end were kind of weird, but
Right.
for what it was, for it being a Netflix movie, for the same woman playing seven different characters, and we see those seven
Mm-hmm.
different characters in the same scene. I think they did an amazing job, placing them where they needed to be, and having
Right.
her act out these seven characters. So I definitely
Mm-hmm.
give this movie a 10 out of 10, especially for it being a Netflix movie, $10 million or $20 million budget. And it holds up. 5 years later, this movie's still great.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at with
Right.
that. Gylan, final thoughts on what happened to Monday?
My final thoughts is go see it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I really enjoyed the movie. Even watching it now, I could still see myself watching it again and be like, oh, I really enjoyed this movie. Like I didn't get tired of it, and I haven't got tired of watching the movie. And like Moses said, they did such a great job with having one character over and over. And I feel like even with the last movie that we reviewed, both of these movies didn't have many scenes in them. And it was a great movie. You weren't all over the world in the
Yeah.
movie, you weren't all over the place. Everything was kind of in the exact same place and not too many different scenes. And the movie was great. Go check out the movie. Like Mo says, I think it was a great
It's on
movie.
Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. It's still on there. So
Yeah.
even if you listen to this whole thing, it's still worth a watch. Go watch it. It's good. I like it.
Yes, sir. Master Chief, final thoughts.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's just a movie you can watch and enjoy. You don't got to really like pay too much attention. Well, you want to pay attention, but like you're not gonna get lost throughout of it. One of the things I did like, and what I do like about movies is when like characters get killed off. You know what I mean? The fact that they were
Yeah.
killing off some of
Mm,
these sisters and stuff made me really enjoy the movie more. Not and even the way they died too was just pretty dope. But
Yeah.
all in all, just a good solid movie, man. It's just something you can enjoy with, like I said, with anyone, and I think it was done very well.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, but yeah, guys, that was what happened to Monday. Be on the
on a
lookout
Thursday.
on a Thursday. On a
Yo,
Thursday.
hold up. Did we do it on purpose or not? That's what the fans want to know.
Do
Movie
what?
came down to Monday and Thursday. Let me know.
Yo.
Did we do this on purpose or did we not?
You know
Was
what?
it planned out? Did
You know,
Entertainment Plaza plan this whole thing out or was it a coinky ding?
you
The
know
world
what?
may never know.
We'll never know. So,
All right.
who knows? But again, next week we're going to be, hopefully next week, if not the following, we're going to be reviewing Shutter Island. This one was picked
Mm,
by Andy. I've actually never watched this. I'm excited to watch that.
mm.
It stars Leonardo DiCaprio. I believe it came out in 2010. So
Ruffalo too. Yeah,
who
That's a lot to
who
talk
else?
about.
Mark Ruffalo's in
Oh,
it.
okay, okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited to watch that one. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for some of our game reviews. I believe we're going to be doing Game Pass our ass here shortly, and some of
Right.
the video game news. So for Moses, I'm Moses, right? Yeah, I'm
Yeah, for
Moses.
you
Yeah, yeah.
too.
For Gylan,
For Moses.
for Moses.
For
Tuesday.
Moses.
Yeah,
Yeah, Monday.
for
Yeah,
Monday through
for
Sunday.
Monday and his
Yeah.
kids.
But for Gylan and Andy, I'm Moses. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. We had some of the most viewers we've had in a while on Twitch, at least. But again, thank you for tuning in. I'm Moses, Gylan, Andy. Until next time, peace.
Peace.